Hey, y'all. Have you ever wondered if the Charlotte Mason way was something that would actually work for your family, but you're a little concerned about all the things you really don't know about it to be able to actually embrace it for your own homeschooling? Well, today I'm going to be sharing with you three Charlotte Mason methods that every homeschooling mom would love. And I hope you join me today on the Charlotte Mason Show. If you're watching with me, I would love for you to say hello to me in comments. Let me know if you're watching from Facebook or on YouTube, because today starts the beginning of me actually showing up in two places for this one show. Hello, Elizabeth. Checking out the new platform. So you are on YouTube today. Is that what you're saying? Oh, it does. It looks like it's YouTube. That's wonderful. I'm real excited about being able to process this on two different platforms at the exact same time, because I know as Charlotte Mason mamas are often trying to eliminate that online distraction of Facebook. And so I'm happy. I've been looking and looking, and I'm happy to find this platform for that very reason. So as you're coming in, say hello to me. This is a time of learning and a time of interaction. So I would love for you to be sharing some of these comments with me and helping me know what helps you in this and what I'm about to share. Okay, so let's get started today. Again, I'm going to be talking about the three methods of Charlotte Mason that would actually help all homeschoolers love this way of learning and would give you a little bit of confidence, because regardless of what you're doing right now, in your homeschooling, you can begin to test these to see how your family actually enjoys them, or if it just doesn't work for your family. So let's go through this. Number one, and I'm going to put it in the comments, and I would love to know if the comments show up on YouTube. So if you're watching on YouTube, let me know. So the first one is, let me make sure I have number one here. The first one is living books instead of textbooks. And I can see that it went on both. This is so cool. I love using this platform. It keeps me from hijacking my daughter's Facebook account. That's wonderful, Elizabeth. I am so glad you're able to do that here as well. So number one is living books instead of textbooks. So Charlotte Mason's method is very living books friendly. And so what living books means is books that actually produce ideas in children. Oftentimes textbooks are watered down, the stories are not all there, and it leaves the content dry. So living books are something that you can actually use into your homeschooling that will allow them to get more in touch with the topics that are of interest to them and learning more. For instance, in a textbook, you might learn about George Washington and perhaps a chapter, and it's very dry as to how it's laid out. It's not laid out in a story form. It's laid out as factual. There's no background story to it. It's just giving you the dry facts: when he was born, where he lived, what he did, where he died, and when he died. So this is something that is different with Charlotte Mason Way, in the fact that living books produce ideas. And this is, instead of using a textbook to learn about George Washington, you would learn about George Washington through a biography. So this is the thing that you want to think, okay, we're studying this time period. What biography can we add in just to see how my children respond to a living book versus a textbook? Simple process. You can just switch out one, or not even switch out, supplement, add in one, and see how it works with your family. So that way there's no like big change going on, and you could just test the waters before committing to something. Is that making sense to you? And yes, you can see the comments. I am loving this platform. I'm so glad I finally found it. I've been looking for a while, and I found this. Now, if only it can show up on Instagram TV, that would be awesome. But right now it cannot. So we'll go with what we can do. Okay, so number two is something that a lot of people really stress over. And they stress over it for the sole purpose of the fact that, let me put this in there. The sole purpose, the fact that most homeschooling families have to have some kind of accountability with their state, right? And accountability is usually done in the way of testing. Well, Charlotte Mason uses narration in place of test. So narration works really well when you're using living books because most of us think of it as book reports, right? That you read a book and you tell a book report on it. Charlotte Mason's term is narration. And this starts with oral narration as young as 6 years old. So when a child is being read to, or a child has read and then interprets what they're learning, they talk about their narration of what they remember. So this is the beginning stage. And as a child begins to grow up, around age 10 is when the written narration is introduced. Okay, so then you have your written narration. And then with that, their child is being able to tell you what they retained, not just studied for a test and then easily forget. So there is a benefit because what a child digs for becomes their own. And usually through the narration process, they can retain it a lot better. So you can see how easily moving away from textbook, which is very functioning with a test, will allow you to then do a living books and then live with the narration. And what I love about narration, Charlotte Mason mamas, and those who might be interested in looking more into this method, is that narrations can happen anywhere. They do not have to happen at the school table. It does not have to happen at a desk. It can actually happen while you're making dinner, while chores are being done, while you're in the vehicle going to a doctor's appointment, or what have you. And that's the power of narrations if they're oral. Now, when they're written, you're going to need something harder to write on, like a desk or a table or something like that. But that's the power of teaching your children narration and getting a pulse on what they're retaining. So that's what I really love about this. Now, here is a method that a lot of moms love because it's simpler and it really helps. And that is dictation instead of grammar. So dictation teaches spelling, it teaches the punctuation and the capitalization, all of the grammar rules, that type of thing. And it teaches the flow of a sentence to make sure that the structure of the sentence, the parts of speech are in part of that. And you use really good, top-notch quality sentences and paragraphs and extended writing as a child gets older to teach this. And you can actually pull out and say, a noun is person, place, and things. Can you show me the noun in this? And you can have oral grammar instead of the textbook grammar, right? And so now they're in touch and having relationship with what they're learning through this different method of dictation. Now, dictation is where they're studying this, and it helps them in spelling, because spelling is really a child taking a picture, a mind picture of how the word looks, right? And you'll know that you have begun to have that when you look at a word and you're just like, it just doesn't look right. Something isn't quite right. It doesn't look right. It's because your mental picture is telling you something's off. And sometimes it plays games with us. Sometimes it is right, but we don't think it is. So the power of dictation makes spelling and grammar so much easier. Now, sometimes children, I found out recently, my son actually forgot some of the grammar on like the nouns and the verbs and stuff like that, but he knows how to spell or how to write really good wordings. And let's be honest, as we're an adult, we don't talk about nouns and pronouns and adjectives and adverbs and prepositionals, phrases, and all these kind of things. What we want our adults to know is how to write and how to be able to communicate and articulate through writing in a wonderful way that makes sense, right? So this is the purpose. And if our child grows up and knows the nouns, the verbs, and all these things, but they cannot pull them together to make a wonderful, beautiful sentence, then we have failed our children. And that's the power of dictation and work. And they learn through learning or emulating the wonderful works of others, and then they can see the spelling, the grammar, the punctuation, the parts of speech, and how to put it all together. And so that's a beautiful thing. All three of these, the living books instead of textbooks, narration instead of test, and dictation instead of grammar. So these are the three things that I feel like every Charlotte Mason or every homeschool mom would benefit of just trying on some of the aspects of the Charlotte Mason way. And if you've never used it before and you're not really sure about how the philosophy works and how your educational philosophy would actually match up with the Charlotte Mason way, I'd encourage you to actually take the assessment that I offer to my audience on my website, thecharlottemasonway.com. There's a link to the assessment in the comment post, or not the comments, in the top part of this, that you can just go and check for yourself. I'll ask you a series of questions. I think there's like 14 questions, a series of questions of how you think education is and where you lean. And it will let you know at the end if you have a perfect fit or close fit, and let you know, and help you along that way to let you know if this is a perfect opportunity for your family to try on the Charlotte Mason way. And even if you don't know for sure, even if you do that and you're just not ready to embrace it yet, you can try these 3 things. There's no big commitment. You can go to the library and pick up a biography and try it out, and use whatever of an interest inside the textbook that you're currently learning and see how your children do with a biography. It's simple like that, right? And then if you're also learning about a time period, you can get more than just a biography. You can get a book about that area. If your child is prone to love travel and stuff, there's a lot of opportunities for you to just try this on without fully embracing it. And then instead of a test, see how your children do with retention through narration. And instead of a spelling and grammar lesson, why don't you take out a couple sentences if they're younger, or a full paragraph from the book that they're reading? Have them look at it. Have them study to see where the punctuation marks are, where the grammar is, and where the capitalization is, and have them look at words that might challenge them, and then see how dictation goes for them. See how they're able to do that. And you'll be able to see if your children actually know these things without having to fill them in a textbook form of grammar. I hope that helps you guys to see that Charlotte Mason way is actually a very gentle way of homeschooling, but it is also a way that actually uses the brain in a way that helps a child to retain and delight in what they're learning a lot easier than the textbooks. And by doing this, you're actually eliminating a whole lot of that fight that goes on inside a child who already has a dislike to homeschooling. This will be a way to actually help them see that, there's actually a lot of fun in learning. All right, is there anyone who wants to say anything? You guys have been very quiet on this. So when you're on Facebook, you're chatty usually. And some of you might be watching this and already thinking, Dolly, I'm doing this already. And I really am glad that you are. I just know I have a lot of people who come to me and still have a whole lot of those beginning questions. And I wanted to be able to address them and help them understand that Charlotte Mason can actually help them to have the smoother and easier days by removing themselves from some of the philosophies that they may be actually hindering themselves in by not embracing an education that actually taps into some philosophies that will help them grow learning in their home. Okay, so I am so excited this works. It's almost seamless. Are you guys still hearing me fine on YouTube and on Facebook? Because I think this is something that we're going to keep doing. I'm looking forward to go watching the replay over on YouTube to see how it goes. And if you're not on following me yet on YouTube, you can subscribe over at the Charlotte Mason Way Show. And if you're on YouTube and you like to use Facebook, you can go ahead and look up the Charlotte Mason Way Facebook page and follow me there. So I'm really excited to finally be able to offer this in 2 places so that if you're trying to avoid Facebook or you don't have a Facebook account, you can still tap in to some of these trainings. And over the next several months, I'm going to be adding more content over at the YouTube channel of past trainings that you can find here on my page on the Facebook. I'm going to be adding them as well so that you have more resources over there. It's going to take some time to get that all in place, but I look forward to doing that for you. Okay, I look forward to seeing you next week on the Charlotte Mason Show at 1:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And as I'm processing what I'm going to be sharing, just know it's going to be good, and I hope to see you there next time. Bye for now. Have a great day.